Thank you guys very much for being here. My name is Kyle. I'm the CEO of Liscena. And we provide P&C carriers with a digital communications platform for claims that enables policyholders and adjusters to be able to interact on all sorts of popular messaging channels today throughout the entire process. Over the past year, my team has spent a tremendous amount of time working with carriers across the continent to understand the state of claims communications today. And I'm going to tell you a story with the help of two people. First, I'd like to introduce you to Dave. He's an adjuster at Blue Sky Insurance Company. And this is Mike. He is a customer at Blue Sky. He's got his home and auto business with them. Now, one day on his way to work, Mike gets into a fender bender, and he needs to file a claim. On top of all the associated stress and inconvenience of being in an accident, he quickly realizes that his lifestyle and communication preferences are not reflective of the way that Dave at Blue Sky Insurance handle claims today. Now, Mike looks and acts a lot like your typical millennial insurance customer. He's a digital native, so he spends most of his communication time on platforms, on apps on his phone that he uses every day. Because he works a full-time job, he has a very hard time connecting over the phone with Dave as adjuster during work hours, which is when Dave works too. And on top of that, he never really makes a lot of calls anyways, and he'll never pick up a phone call from a number that he doesn't know, because I'm sure like a lot of us, he has more than enough free cruises to last the rest of his life. Like a lot of Americans, he has no interest in downloading an app for one-time use. So what does that mean? Well, it means that he ends up playing phone tag with his adjuster through the entirety of his claims process, struggling to find a time to connect and provide the information needed to move that claim forward and get his own status updates for his peace of mind. And these are not just superficial problems. According to J.D. Power, the #1 driver of retention risk in insurance, so the #1 reason your customers are leaving you is because of a poor claims experience. And that probably surprises very few people. But 85% of that is being driven by claimants who felt that there was a lack of transparency and engagement in their claim experience. And to tell you the truth, folks, that the grass ain't greener on the other side. You see, Dave understands that Mike wants to be able to communicate on platforms that he's familiar with, but he simply doesn't have the tools to make that happen. And like all adjusters, he is a very busy person. About a third of his time is spent handling what we consider to be low-value claims communication tasks. That's things like handling inbound calls on what's the status of my claim, where's my check, you guys get it. And every time he has to make an outbound call, it takes him over 3 attempts to actually make a connection to that policyholder. All this means he's spending way too much of his time away from really important tasks in his job, things like discretionary fraud analysis, handling really high-severity claims, things like that. And as Blue Sky Insurance grows as a company, they're going to have a very challenging time scaling their claims department if they can't make their adjusters more efficient. So what do we wind up with? We wind up with a policyholder that wants to be able to communicate on platforms they like, and we wind up with an adjuster who needs help making that happen so that he can be more effective in his job. Enter Liscena. We are a white-gloved conversational platform that enables policyholders like Mike to be able to interact directly with their adjusters and their carriers on the platforms they're already using every single day. Facebook Messenger, SMS, iMessage, web apps, you name it. And because we're an AI company, our intelligence engine sits along this channel, understanding the conversation in real time, and can automate interactions and decisions on behalf of the adjuster and the carrier. So let's just pretend that Mike, instead of the status quo, had used our system to file his claim, right from first notice of loss all the way through. So we can imagine that Mike went onto his carrier's website or his broker's website and actually was pushed via a link to our own concierge first notice of loss filing experience. In this example, it's a web app, so there's nothing downloaded. We say concierge because all of the questions that are being asked in this conversational experience are directly relevant to this claim. He's only being asked critical questions. It's also important to think about the fact that by doing this, we're able to enable real-time triaging of claims as that information is being processed. What's important? You know, where's the severity of this claim? Should it be the first thing that this adjuster is looking at? Should we be kicking it out to a human? As it goes through the entirety of this ethanol experience, he's asked where he wants to communicate moving forward, and he selects SMS. Now, as he's going through and he's completed this, he automatically gets a message sent to his phone. hey Mike, we've got your claim, we've automatically assigned you your adjuster, surprise, it's Dave, and if there's any more information you need, you can follow this link and get it here. Fantastic. Now let's pretend we're Dave for a second. All of that information that we just collected was automatically populated as a claim in his claims management system. So how cool is that? Now a couple days go by and Dave decides that he needs to update Mike on something that's going on in his claim. You know what, we got an appraisal scheduled, things are going well. So instead of any calls or anything, even typing, a couple of clicks go by and a message is automatically sent, again on that communication channel he prefers, that says, hey, Mike, your claim's moving forward, we're scheduling an appraisal. If you want any more information on that, follow this link. This is Mike's first claim, and he wants to understand a little bit more what's happening and how it affects, for example, his deductible. So he follows that link. He's immediately brought to a platform or portal, web-based, that is directly relevant to his claim. And he's interacting with our intelligent, responsive assistant, asking the question of, does my deductible apply here? He gets that answer in 2 seconds, is satisfied with the response, and that interaction is complete. At no point was Dave a part of that conversation, but a real-time conversational log is added into his management system so he can be contextually aware of what's happening in that claim. Some more time passes, and Dave decides that he needs a little bit more information to move this forward. He needs an updated driver's license photo from Mike. A couple clicks again, and a message is sent to Mike. Hey Mike, we need this information from you. Really quickly, follow that link, and we get it done in no time. Of course, Mike obliges. And Mike goes back to that link, which brings him to his portal. 1 click later, and he's in a handheld experience, automatically pushing that information right from his phone, without, again, downloading anything, and it's automatically put into Dave's claims management system. This is just a couple of small examples of what we can do with claims communication. The sky really is the limit with our technology. I also really want to stress that we play very well with the existing technology carriers are using today. For example, we in no way compete with your existing claims management systems. In fact, we consider ourselves to be a perfect 1-2 punch with a modern system like a Duck Creek or a Guidewire, acting as the ability to automatically populate claims with our interaction data, as well as serve as a digital access point for policyholders. We also really focus on the ability to push customers to the digital services you're already using today, whether or not that's something like a damage recognition tool or an auto e-payment. We also understand at Liscena that using new technology, like artificial intelligence, in any operation can sometimes feel a little bit like this. It can be very, very overwhelming to relinquish control and let an autonomous system start making decisions in your process. And we get that. So we've built our platform in such a way that it allows carriers to dip their toes in the water with autonomous systems before they go full out. Our system can be implemented fully manually to start, with adjusters controlling all of the communications. And as the adjuster and the carrier feels more comfortable with those interactions, they can actually start to flip on one by one, switches piece by piece, on what they want to automate along that life cycle, until they're working in a fully autonomous state. I could not be more proud of the team that we have put together to solve this problem. You're looking at a leadership team with proven AI experts and executives from previous successful B2B startups. We're also backed by a team of ex-Microsoft and ex-Google rock stars who have shipped enterprise AI at scale before. It seems like every single day I'm getting another Facebook or Instagram ad about a new digital-first insurer, which probably A, says something about my driving habits, and B, the fact that a lot of customers, the dominant customer moving forward in insurance is going to look a lot more like Mike. So we provide the tools for carriers to become the disruptors, not the disrupted. At Liscena, we're raising around this summer, and my ask of you today is that if you work for a carrier who is really focused and really passionate about their digital claims transformation and the future of customer experience, please come and find one of the guys wearing a shirt like this at happy hour. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon, and enjoy the rest of the symposium.